Hello, my lovey. Mel Trumbull here with ZFG Living Podcast. Today we are so excited to welcome Meredith Adams, the master messaging maven and owner of Cactus Girl Media. And a girl who lives in New York City, y'all. Can you believe it? As someone from Louisiana, I am loving that Meredith is from Texas. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. So happy to be here. That flipped, I realized. And I remember when it flipped, it was in 2019. And I was having a lot of mental health struggles that year, particularly with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And the anxiety was, it was caused by a lot of things. But, one thing was just that I was incredibly burnt out from I was in a multi-level marketing commercial cult for 7 years. And so in 2019, I got out in 2020. So 2019, it was like my 6th year of going all around town 3, 4 nights a week to in-person meetings and having a full-time job on top of that in person
Oh
five
my
days a week.
gosh, you were just basting in stress hormones.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was very stressful. I mean, of course, like there was, that was feeding so I had an incredible social outlet at that time. There were definitely people. But I had no time to myself. And because of the toxic mentality of these multi-level marketing companies, any time that you spend not working on your business, and I use air quotes to say business because anyone in an MLM is not a business owner, they're a 1099 contractor. They don't own anything. It can all be taken away at any time. They're at the mercy of a corporation that they are working for. And I I did it, and the mentality is that any time that you are not working on your business, you are being lazy. So like we would go to conferences every quarter, and the conferences would be like 8 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning. And then, even later
Mm.
by the time you got back to your hotel. And then a lot of people would say, okay, we're back at the hotel, go change and meet us back in the lobby in half an hour because we're going to decompress. They would call it a night owl. What I didn't know is that there is no enjoying it. There's never any enjoying it. And the number of people who very young would die, get cancer, whatever, was huge. And it's
Hmm.
because of that stress.
Right. And lack of sleep. I mean, because it's
Yeah.
like self-care now, people think it's like candles and aromatherapy and all those things. And
Yeah.
that might really connect with some people. But fundamentally, it's hydration and sleep
Yeah.
and space to be
Yeah.
and moving your body and looking at nature and and seeing
Yeah.
things that make you happy, spending time with those you love.
Yeah.
It's that we have to call it something as opposed to just being human
Right.
shows the incredible imbalance that we have between
Right.
people who are operating rationally. Not, it's not even rational. Like we should feel better. I hate to say should, my apologies, but we are able to feel better by paying attention to this physical vessel that we are in for this glorious journey, and to ignore that is at our peril. How did you regain your perspective to see that not as wasted time, but as a time that allowed you the self-knowledge to butterfly into this,
Yeah.
Cactus Girl Media?
Well, that is why, I did photography, copywriting, and then eventually moved into consulting. And what I help people do is create a brand around their personal story and turn it into a marketing message that upholds, that transcends time, really, because, I don't know that that the services that I'm selling will be packaged exactly as they are now 10 years from now. I don't know
Oh
what
my
that's
gosh,
going to
it'd be
look like.
crazy to think so, right? Because I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I know.
AI has changed everything. Like there's
Yeah,
so many,
yeah.
yeah,
Things are, yeah,
100%.
so much is going to change, but I do know that I will still be sharing my story. And and creating a brand and an audience around something that you really stand for. People want to hear about you, and they
Mhm.
want to hear about why you are different and why they should connect. There's so many mentors, there's so many service providers. They have an entire gamut of people that they could choose from. But people connect with your story, and
Mhm.
when they connect with you and your story, and they feel something, they are, studies have shown that they're 55% more likely to buy. So, now I can't even see that time as wasted, because now it led me to where I am now. And it also, I'm writing a book about this now. And when I have that book, that gives me an even bigger platform to be able to, let's say, go on a book tour and
Absolutely.
do, and speak in front of, larger and larger groups of people. So I couldn't do any of this had that not happened. And that's why I'm so passionate about getting people to tell their story. Is, you and I were talking before we started recording. You Your story is what qualifies you.
Right. Right. And it's also what is going to magnetize people to you
Yeah.
because we all have our, I don't, you could call it a polarity when you're thinking about magnets that really pulls
Yeah.
some people in and pushes others away.
Yeah.
None of us are for everybody, you know?
No.
So
No.
people aren't going to come to me if they're pearl clutchers who, only want to use the Queen's English. Like I'm saying, I'm not your gal. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
No. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the people who have been through it and are trying to live their life not framing it through the lens of victimhood or even survivor,
Yeah.
you just want to have your life and yet you've got to reconcile all of the things that happened, and for me it's hurricane, divorce, oh another
Yeah.
divorce, oh
Yeah.
childhood of abuse, fantastic, did you grow up in an incestuous household, congratulations, like it's just like hit after hit after hit. And yet my mission is to improve joy, increase joy in the world. And I do that by sharing my story too and
Yeah.
showing that it's possible. Like when you went deep,
Yes.
like in year 5 of the MLM bullshittery, like, and someone would have come to you and said, like, you know what's gonna happen?
I
You are gonna
know.
make bank girl doing photography, copy editing, and then you're just gonna explode the world with other people's messages. You would have just been like,
Exactly.
fuck off. Do you want to be one of my downstream sellers?
Yeah. Exactly. If none of that stuff had happened to me or to you, we wouldn't be here.
Right.
I mean, and because of the way, and this is kind of even the beauty, and I can refute that by saying, well, if this hadn't happened to us, something else would have, and then we would be, here or whatever. Like uh, our stories are what make us, and what put us on a certain trajectory. We just have to listen to them, and we have to listen to where they want us to go.
Oh, and on that wisdom bomb, yeah, thank you, Meredith Adams. This has been an amazing conversation. I appreciate your candor, your vulnerability, and your willingness to share your story. It's freaking awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.